Yep, practice went really well. We did probably more plays than we planned on, but probably 100 plays in the stadium. Did mock game stuff and had good on good, and then also went against the scouts. Got our special teams in line, so feel really good about the end of camp right now. Just being that we're going to focus on South Florida. I like the fact that we got to be in the stadium again, and so we had, it's been hard on our guys the last week actually, being able to go, do a bunch of plays here on Saturday and then coming back again on Tuesday, and so I think their legs are probably sore, but we'll get them back. We'll get them back, get some good lifts in, and we'll start to recover, but get back to work and focusing on South Florida for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then having obviously next week, the game week, ready to go. So, like what I saw, I mean, a lot of good work from all three phases. Everybody's playing at a high pace and fast level, and I like what I'm seeing from the O-line, D-line. I think it was a back and forth battle, and we were able to end it with some situational football. I had some 2 minutes in red zone. Just some opportunities to put our guys in tough spots, our offense and our defense in tough spots, and just like the way our guys respond. I think the team didn't know what to expect, so we just threw a bunch of things at them and tried to create some chaos, and I thought they handled everything the right way, and we were out here for a while and liked our pregame stuff, and everything seemed to work out really well. For a head coach, my perspective, I really like what we got from it.
We'll take questions from Darnell and then Matt.
Kalani, how might depth play a bigger role in this first game, considering you're going all the way out to Florida and with the humidity and everything?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to rely on our depth depending on, you look at what happened last year. We had a bunch of unfortunate injuries that put us in some tough spots and had probably thrust forward a bunch of young guys to play before we felt like they were really ready. Now those young guys have some experience and have some time on some game time experience and had a good off season. They're a different group now. So if we need to, those guys can be called on, and some of those guys will actually play a lot more just because of the improvement that we saw from them. So depth's going to always be big for us, and in this game, we're not worried about the elements. We just want to make sure that we have the right guys on the field and that we're communicating well. That's what we did today. We just want to make sure that we substitutions, personnel packages, just having the right guys in there, getting used to the game clock, having long drives, having our players get used to being on the field for quite a while, and then even working in the rotation if fatigue sets in. So we had some really long drives today, and like the guys and the rotation I saw from them, and I think we'll be in a really good spot going into the game in September, and going into that humidity. I think it helps that we had some really record high temperatures in the state of Utah this summer and even leading up to now. So that there's a lot of heat, but the humidity is a different story. I think our guys will be ready for it. Our trainers and our sports scientists are working on a plan that we can have to make sure our guys are that we're strategic about our time and our hydration, our nutrition from now until next Saturday.
Coach, who are some players that solidified spots in the travel roster that were maybe on the bubble, so to speak, heading into camp?
Jaron, Rico. I don't know. I can't go through the whole thing. We'll have a depth chart out, and so don't want to. Sorry, Matt. Don't want to be like, not being disrespectful. I was like, if I start to choose players, then it looks like I'm playing favorites. I think the ones that you think that have solidified their spots are probably the right ones. So, I think Keenan and Peyton, all those guys are back playing. So we have a good number of corners that can play. We have a good number of safeties that can play, backers. So Ben Bywater, really good. So I'm looking at it's all the names that we were thinking of. We'll probably have a lot of starters, and depending on what we see from Tampa from South Florida and Tampa, the first play is what we're going to see who starts the game. Offense is, the names that are involved in the offensive line, tight ends, receivers. It's all the same guys, So Jaren's a pretty good one to start with. And I like what we saw from the other quarterbacks too in that position group.
We'll go Jake and then Jay.
Yeah, Coach, I wanted to ask you, where do you feel the most comfortable with your squad just over a week out from game day?
I feel comfortable with the football IQ from our players and the team chemistry. I feel really good about that. I see that these guys really love each other and care for each other, and they honestly love being on the field. Today, they didn't know what to expect, and we probably made it harder than what I think even some of the coaches were expecting. And no complaints. The guys respond the right way. And I just wanted to test them just to see, if we could get some complaints. And the guys actually wanted to keep playing, and that's a good group. So I wasn't really trying to find a way to trick them, but I just wanted to see how they would respond to more plays and another drive and another drive and another drive when it was getting hot. And the guys love football, man. So they love each other. They love the game. They love who they represent while they're on the field and off the field. And so I'm really comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with our conditioning. So we'll see how it performs on next week Saturday. But yeah, I feel really good about where we're at right now. I just want to get out there and play against. Get so far against each other. As a head coach, it doesn't really matter, because if the offense does well on a play, then I'm happy. If the defense does well, I'm happy. And as long as we're sick of playing against each other, we want to play against somebody else. And this is the right moment to end camp, and let's start putting all our efforts and our energy focused on South Florida, and they'll be ready to play. I mean, this is everybody's undefeated right now, so first game is going to be a lot of excitement. They have some new bodies and some new players. And I think they have a really, really good coaching staff, and they'll have their guys ready. There's a lot of talent on their team, so we have to be ready, make sure that we're performing at our best.
I also wanted to ask you, we saw the official announcement from Built Bar this morning. They're going to re-up their NIL deal with the football program. How important is that for you to have it as a team-wide deal, just to have it running for a second straight year?
Yeah, so much appreciation to Built and to Nick Greer and that company for just loving our boys and doing it the right way. And I like that they re-upped it, but they added some things that are new and different to it. And I like that they're using our players to help promote service and doing good for other people, specifically children, and feeding the needy. This is going to be a really cool, really cool program for our players to be involved with, and not just about getting paid and making money, but actually helping people. And so that's right in line with what we want to get done as a program, and definitely in line with our school and our university and our church. So it helps motivate our players, and they're already motivated to serve and help others. But it's just another pat on the back and making sure that there's others that appreciate what we do, and it helps that they pay our guys to do that. It's another thing to change name, image, and likeness, but to help the NIL help others as well, not just for yourself. That's a cool program. I'll always be about that.
Hey, Kalani, I think it's my turn. I don't recall a camp where you've played this much football, and I know you didn't go live today, but just like 3 days after another scrimmage. What's the reason for that?
I feel like talking to the coaches and just for what I want to see, it just seems like if you want to get good at football, then you practice football. If you want to be good at MMA fighting or boxing, then you spar. And so I think we can run a lot of drills and do things. We're going to shift some things and I mentioned this before, like really deliberately do things in practice different than we've done in other times. And we in a way you put guys in harm's way because you're playing 11-on-11 football, but we have to get better at that. I don't know how else to do it other than to get better at football. And it's probably the most taxing on the line because it's just hand-to-hand combat the entire time. You couldn't tell the difference if it's tag or thud or wrap up. For them, they're going 100%. But they also the ones that need the most work. And so if we want to win the trenches, then we got to get in there and sometimes it's just getting dirty. And so when we're talking to the experts on our staff in the training room and in sports science department, we're pushing our guys to the edge. We have to get a little bit uncomfortable to get better, but then we know when to reel it back. And so in the next couple of days, we try to get them back and start focusing on getting their legs back. But at the same time, we got to still keep playing football to improve. So it's a balance, and it's not just trying stuff. When we got to the point on Saturday, I expressed to them what I want to see accomplished, and they said, "Okay, this is what you probably should do." And I was down with that. It's rather than just me just guessing. It's actually doing the research and having data back it up that we can push our guys to the limit here. And we stressed them out a lot because we went Saturday and then did it again today. So, but no complaints from our players and no complaints from what I saw in the performance on the field. So I feel like we're trending the right way right now, and let's just be smart and plan out the rest of this week and get to next week. But so far, all of fall camp went exactly how we wanted, and it's nice when it's backed by science.
And just last for me, how did you come out health-wise out of camp?
We did good. I think for the season, haven't lost anybody for the season, and so and that's crazy. When you're talking about how much 11-on-11 football we've done and we're going to continue to do, and so I'm not trying to, but we'll just keep working and. What I think of for now, I'll probably have more of an idea on who's going to be ready for the game next week, Monday. Right now, everybody's all in, so those that are in camp.
Jake, go ahead.
Yeah, Kalani, I remember during spring ball, and I think you also may have brought it up early on in training camp, that you wanted us to keep talking about the defense and their struggles a year ago, because you said you wanted to hear that to motivate them. How do you feel like your defense has responded so far during this last 3 weeks?
But I mean, when I said that, it was kind of like whatever. You're a defensive player at BYU. It's okay. There's a certain system that's in place. The quarterback gets all the attention. The head coach gets some attention too, even with his dancing. But the all the stuff. I mean, we're just gonna listen. They know what's been said about them, and they understand it. They go against one of the best offenses in the country, and I think they're doing really well. We'll just have to see. It's hard to gauge on what I'm seeing right now. I like what we have. I want to see it in game time. It's a whole nother deal. We want to simulate game. It's some guys step up and when the lights are on and when it's live, and some guys have a hard time adjusting. So until we get to that game, it's going to be hard to gauge it. We try to simulate as much game type environment as we can, but it's just another deal. What we're doing is sparring. When you get into the actual match and the fight and the game, then strategy comes in on how do you adjust. And so we feel like we have the right pieces, and we feel like we're playing some chess with how we're working in the program, and we'll see what happens. We'll see how much it'll pay off on September 3rd. I feel really good about where we're headed. Obviously, we did some things in the off season and did some things during fall camp to adjust our schedule and to allow our players to be physical and to get better in the game of football, but also find ourselves in the best position to be healthy. And that's hard to do when you're playing violent football like we do, and let's see what happens. I think that's the only time we'll judge it all on that one game, and then for a week you guys can talk about how great or how horrible all three phases are, and then we'll go, and then we'll have another week to change your minds, and just the fans have an expectation that they want from our team on all three phases, from the head coach and from the players, and hopefully we can match them, because we want to make all our fans and Cougar Nation happy, and the media members too. You guys want us to do well.
We appreciate that. You got two accomplished MMA guys on your coaching staff. Who wins between Coach E and the Janimal?
Oh, they're so old now. It's hang it up. It's the knowledge is there, but it's a young man's game in MMA. So the cool thing is that I was really impressed with how the locals showed up and supported that UFC. And from what I watching on pay-per-view, I wasn't able to attend, but watching it sounded really loud and it sounded like tons of energy. So that's the local fan bases, they support and they get crazy. I mean, I was at concerts, Garth Brooks concerts, and that stuff. It gets crazy. So that's there's a lot of BYU fans that are involved in that. We want to make all those fans happy.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Kalani.
All right, guys, take care.